at all. And I forgot about it, went off, did something, came back. A few hours later, I'm on Twitter again. I think, oh, what's happening there, right? And it's still all going off, right? It's really funny. I'm laughing at all the replies, like people saying things to him, right? Like, I'm scrolling down. There's one tweet just directly to me from this woman. She says, what, you find rape funny? No. What? No. What? Ricky Gervais find rape funny? No. Listen, what? Ricky Gervais find rape funny? No. Listen, everyone. Listen, right? No. Right? So I said to her, no, I didn't tweet that. She went, no, you retweeted it. I went, well, yeah, just to show you he's an idiot. I just showed her, well, yeah, but you must find it funny. You must find it amusing. It's not, no, it's not a frivolous thing to be laughing. I said, well, no, I just, so I said, well, it's up to him, isn't it? They go, well, not really. So I said, well, it is up to him. He can do it. So now I'm arguing with quite a nice, sane person, presumably, who thinks this sort of thing's mental. But I'm fighting for his right to fan that people do. She said, she didn't say, what, you find jokes about rape funny. She said, what, you find rape funny. And the answer to that is no, of course not. No one finds rape funny. Not even rapists find rape funny. Do you know what I mean? There's never been anyone giving evidence going, well, it was dark and he was wearing a ski mask and he was giggling. That's never... So I sent back, do you mean jokes about rape? She said, yes. I said, of course it does. It's about context. It's about the content, right? I said, what do you mean by a rape joke? And she said, even a joke with the word rape in it is unacceptable. I said, that's ridiculous. It depends what the joke is. I said, and I tweeted that clip of me in the office going, I think there's been a rape up there. Right? And everyone gets that because of the context. And the target is a middle-aged man who's so narcissistic, he'll say the most horrendous thing to get attention to win a silly game. So you have to understand the joke and where it's going and where it comes from. And I said, some jokes don't punch up or down. They don't punch anywhere. They can just be a little pun, a silly play on words that don't really mean anything, right? And the example I gave was a joke that went around when I was a kid. Even adults told it, right? I tell you, it was a woman goes running into a police station. She says, help, I've been raped. And the policeman says, jokes where they're fucking horrible and the victim is the target. They're disgusting. I'd never tell those. But it depends on the joke, not the word or the subject, right? And I think I calmed it down. I said, and they agreed, yeah, some jokes are worse than others, right? And she ended it with saying, well, okay, I see your point, but still, I will laugh at a joke with the word rape in it when I know that no one in the audience has been raped, right? I should have left it. I just sent back, what a weird door policy. It's rubbing salt in the wound, isn't it? You turn up to a comedy gig, you pay your money, then someone says, oh, before you go in, love, can I just ask you a question? Yeah. Have you ever been raped? I have, yes. You can't come in. What? Why? There's a lady in who says she won't laugh if you're in. Come on, off you go, right? I've always wanted people to know they can laugh at bad... Bob, who was about 11 years older than me, and it was him who I first saw making these dark jokes right in the bad situation. While the bad things were happening, he was making jokes about it, and people were laughing, and I realised, oh, he's healing them. That's what comedy's for. That's what humour's for. It gets us over bad stuff, right? Typical Bob story. He once spent an hour in the pound shop in Hayling Island just asking the cashier how much... And Bob was the first person I saw answer back to authority, and the first authority you come across are your parents, right? And he'd have an argument, he'd get in trouble, he'd get sent to bed, right? But I thought, no, he won the argument, though, right? And he teased my mum, and... So my mum was a typical working-class woman, I think, in that, as I say, we lived in a shitty area, right? And most of the houses had, like, a bit of mud and a stolen bike and fence posts missing. She mended the mail. And she'd take it and she'd go in and she'd be horrified and she'd call Bob and go, Bob, he saw it this time, you've got to stop doing that. Even at her funeral, my mum died first and my dad carried on for a year or so, just drinking beer in the garden, and he went, right? But for my mum's funeral, we sort of split up into different duties. I went and did sort of catering and flowers, and Bob went to see the local vicar. That was a mistake, right? We'd never been to church. He didn't know us. We didn't know him. So he just said to Bob, tell me about your mum so I can say a few words. And Bob saw that as an opportunity, right? So Bob, with a straight face, said to him, well, she was a keen racist. And the vicar went, oh, I can't say that. Bob went, OK, but she liked gardening, right? And he was trying to get something past the vicar so the vicar would say something and make us laugh in church. He didn't warn us, right? And he did get something by the vicar. So we're called Ricky, Robert. In fact, my mum told me that when he was a teenager, he got a job and he gave her the money to bring up the rest of us to help out, right? So he's a stand-up guy, Larry, right? So Bob gives the vicar the wrong name. Didn't warn us. We're all in church, right? Start of the funeral, we're all there, right? Packed out, right? The coffin comes down, guided by the vicar, the coffin gets out. The vicar goes to his pulpit, all confident with his little notes, right? And he goes, Eva leaves behind 4 loving children, Ricky, Robert, Marsha, and Barry. And we just like that, right? Bob sort of looks around. Everyone realised what's that. We were all fucking laughing. We see Larry go, right? And the church is like... Every time we thought of it, people would go, we'd see Larry go... right. And then it would just start giggling, just fits and fucking giggles, right? And then Larry eventually sort of started doing this, right? And the vicar's thinking, what have I said, right? And he put in a few little things that the vicar wouldn't know about that he said would set us off again, just things that were just lies or just slightly wrong. And my niece and nephew started crying and I'd come prepared. Right? And you could see the vicar was visibly sort of shook a little bit, right? And he ended the funeral and he made a beeline over for me and Bob, right? And he came and said, sorry, was that okay? And me and Bob went, it was fucking brilliant, mate. It was fucking brilliant, mate. And that's what I'm talking about. We're all going to die, so we should have a laugh, because if you can laugh in the face of adversity, you're bulletproof, okay? And me and my brother Bob had one simple rule, and that was, if you think of something funny, you've got to say it, right? Win, lose, or draw, right? It might go well. It might go badly, but you've got to say it. And bear that in mind as I leave you with this. Right. So, we're all in the car one day, right? Bob's driving, right? Packed in this car, going for a little day trip to the beach, right? And we get stopped at a security stop, right? And there's a British Bobby there, like that. We just stopped the car. Bob winds down the window. He said, where are we off to then? Bob went, Bognor. Right? He went, can you just pop the boot, please? So he looks there, looks in the boot like that. Yeah, goes back up to Bob's window, gets that mirror on a stick thing, and he starts just looking under the car like that. And as he does that, his helmet falls off, right? And out of the helmet falls a packet of 20 cigarettes. And the copper just went, oh, I bet you've always to be woke from now on. It's about time. Well, I'm sorry. Well, I am woke, and now I'm woke. The first thing I've got to do is change my Twitter bio. Because at the moment, it's like a list of the shows I've created. But now I'm woke, I've got to pop in the word anti-fascist. So people know I'm not a fascist. Because that is a big problem at the moment. People come up to me on the street and they go, Rick, have you been imprisoning journalists? I go, no. They go, oh, interesting. They go, have you been gassing Jews? I go, no. They go, well, pop it in your bio then, you silly cunt. So, yeah, I'm not a fascist. It's an odd thing to just declare, isn't it, that you're not a fascist? We assume, don't we? You wouldn't go up to someone on the street and do that, would you? And go to, oh, by the way, I'm not a fascist. You know, it's like they protest too much. It's like going into a school and going, I'm not a pedo, so just forget I even mentioned it. So these kids are safe running around me. They can run around naked for all I care. I'm not a pedo, so... Of course, the word fascist can mean liked a Joe Rogan tweet. So Words change, yeah? And that's part of the reason I'm going to become woke, is words change, and I don't want to be left behind, you know? I don't want to end up like my granddad in the 70s. Oh, he was all like, coloureds this and queers that. Oh. Although the word queer is all right again now, so... If you wait long enough, it just goes full circle. Just be patient, is my... So yeah, you can use the word queer now. He's queer now. If Darren is definitely bent, you can't go around just slagging off Darren willy-nilly. Do you know what I mean? You can get sued in this country for saying someone's gay if they're not. He'd love that. He'd fucking love that. If that's your game, you want to be top of the pile, so to speak, right? I'd go, all right, Alton. He'd go, yeah. I'd go, ha, 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 you're not a gay. He'd go, I bloody am. He'd go, I'm going to sue you. I go, you can't. You can't. He'd go, but know that I am gay. I go, I don't believe you are. He'd go, well, come on with me and see the shit I do if you don't believe me. Of course, the word queer has